Hi there, students. The letter of the law. So the letter of the law as opposed to the spirit of the law. The letter of the law means exactly what the words say. So very often when they write a law, they don't get the wording right, and you could interpret it in a different way. And this is the letter of the law. Now, the spirit of the law is what is intended. The intention of the law, the reason that the law was written. And this is the point of the letter of the law. It's the strict interpretation of the law or the rule. It's exactly what it says, and that's the spirit of the law. The letter of the law. And you contrast this with the spirit of the law, what was made by it, because very often laws are written in a way that they are subject to loopholes, to different interpretations, and you can obey the letter of the law without obeying the spirit of the law, without obeying why the law was actually written. So, for example, in The Merchant of Venice, Shylock demands a pound of flesh, but Portia says that, okay, yes, she saves Antonio by pointing out that he can only have his pound of flesh, if he sheds no blood. And this is the idea of the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. Because the letter is the strict interpretation, the law exactly as it's written, not a liberal interpretation. Okay, so to the letter of the law, we need to stick to the letter of the law to show that you are not getting preferential treatment. It's the precise wordings. Very often it's best to ignore the letter of the law and stick to the spirit of the law, because this is what was intended. Let's see, it's in life it's very often possible to violate the spirit of the law without violating the letter of the law. They insist to sticking to the letter of the law, the exact words, not its more important general meaning. She had abided by the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. According to the letter of the law, what you have done is legal, but it's certainly immoral. In the US, jaywalking is an offence. It's prohibited by the letter of the law. Jaywalking, crossing the road without looking. But it's not often that a police officer will arrest you for jaywalking. If we want to be fair, we must follow the letter of the law. Absolutely, we must do exactly what it says. So the exact words as it is written, not the spirit. So following the letter of the law, you cannot be arrested. You can't be punished. But very often the letter of the law is open to different interpretations. Okay, and that's really the problem with writing laws. Laws are actually very difficult things to write, because you need to cover every possibility. They seem to be more concerned with obeying the letter of the law than trying to understand the spirit of the law. The guiding principle is the spirit of the law. The letter of the law is what it actually says. So, yeah, sometimes the letter of the law may support you more than the spirit of the law. So it's doing exactly what the law says. So you act according to what is actually written rather than to the general principle. Yeah, they stuck to the letter of the law rather than following the spirit of the law. So a rigid interpretation, a precise meaning, the exact wording. Yeah, it's not a liberal interpretation, it's a strict interpretation of the legislation. Yeah, it's the spirit of the law. Obey the spirit, not the letter of the law. They insisted on sticking to the letter of the law. They followed neither the spirit nor the letter of the law. The builders have adhered to the letter of the law but not to its spirit. Okay, yeah, by sticking to the letter of the law, the spirit of the law may be lost. Yeah, we might be guilty of bending the letter of the law. So here we go. They stuck to the letter of the law, and in my view, they should be ashamed about what they did. Yeah, so this is the difference between what it says and what it intended to say. Okay, so the letter is each letter of something that's written, whereas the spirit is how it feels. Formality, the letter of the law. 5.5 informality, use absolutely anywhere. So, the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.